This is Fox Springfield News at 9. First on Fox.
Tonight on Fox, today was a terror of transportation on roads as this Arctic blast hits early, sending those involved in a school bus crash to the hospital. And Illinois State Police respond to over 150 crashes in just one day. How this weather has impacted the roads. Plus, record-breaking snow and ice as we get just a taste of what this upcoming winter weather has to offer. Springfield News at 9 starts right now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Judy Gatton. Thank you for joining us. Today, we experienced an Arctic blast throughout the Midwest. Right here behind me, you can even see a bus just crashed on its side, on the side of the road, causing some to go to the hospital. And then over here, you can see a boat. This was found in the middle of the road right here on Route 3. It's pretty clear to say that today was a transportation trifecta of tragic events on the roads, and we will get to all of that in just a moment. But all of this, it's just the first punch from this Arctic blast and record-breaking snow. We're bringing you team coverage tonight of how the roads are looking and what you can expect for your commute to work tomorrow. But first, let's take a look at this. To continue with this Arctic blast of weather Illinois is experiencing, 4 students in Peoria sent to the hospital with minor injuries when their bus ends up on its side. You're watching it. A car, it slid through the intersection and hit that bus. There were a total of 15 students on that bus. And now take a look at this. This happened right this morning in Chicago. This is an inside look at a plane getting ready to go off on its flight when it slides off the roadway. And now this is an outside perspective of that plane sliding off of the runway. No passengers were injured, thankfully, and more than 450 flights total were canceled at O'Hare and Midway airports due to all of the snow. And now check out these car crashes throughout Illinois. The slick roads playing an obvious factor in cars, trucks, even a boat having trouble on Illinois roads today. And like I said, this is the first punch of this Arctic blast that's spanning the plains of Iowa all the way to right here in central Illinois. Now let's hear from our chief meteorologist, Cheryl Lemke, who is tracking this invasion of cold air. Cheryl?
Well, Dee Dee, as you were mentioning, it has certainly been a day.
And now with our team coverage, these slippery road conditions have been seen all throughout central Illinois. But right here in Springfield, crews have been working around the clock to make sure they won't pose an issue. That's where we find Fox's Amanda Henderson live with how roads are expected to be tonight. And Amanda, we just saw a video of a bus that was crashed on the side of the road. So what could this mean for our kids that are heading into school tomorrow?
Dee, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It is really bitterly long. For now, live in Springfield, Amanda Henderson, Fox Springfield News at 9.
Thank you, Amanda. And in fact, right before the show, I actually called Springfield Public Works for an update. And they told me right now they're focused on salting the main roads in areas around school. The night shift actually came in at 7 o'clock and they'll be out there into the early morning hours. But today, the heavy snowfall really wreaking havoc on Illinois roads. Illinois State Police say they responded to 178 crashes across the state just today. Let's get straight over to Fox's Symphony Sherman, who is live in Springfield with more. Symphony.
Symphony Sherman, back to you.
Thank you, Symphony. And yes, the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office says they do expect roads to refreeze overnight, causing dangerous conditions Tuesday morning. And now this is just one way that you can stay safe before driving during this winter blast. Take a look at this website right here. The Illinois Department of Transportation actually keeps an up-to-date picture of what the roadways look like in real time. All you have to do is search for your area, click on one of the available cameras like right there to see an updated road condition, and you can see it very clearly. IDOT's website also allowing you to check surrounding areas to see just how severe the roads are covered with ice and snow. We'll of course have a link to their website on our website, foxillinois.com. And remember, you can always stay up to date with the most accurate weather forecasts on our weather app. Just search Fox Illinois Weather in the Apple Store or Google Play. Breaking news, a manhunt is underway for a U.S. Marine who deserted his post in North Carolina, now wanted for the murder of his mother's boyfriend. John Hansen has more from the Breaking News desk. John.
Yeah, tonight Virginia officials say the 22-year-old Marine is on the run and could be armed with a high-powered rifle. Authorities say Michael Brown was a combat engineer for the Marines and deserted his post 3 weeks ago. Investigators say he opened fire on his mother's boyfriend, Rodney Brown, at his home in Virginia on Saturday. A family member is the one who found the victim and then called police. Officials say the motive behind all of this is still unclear. He's believed to be driving a black 2008 Lincoln Town Car. Dee, right now investigators believe that Brown may be living in the woods. They say he's known to frequent national parks and other forests.
All right, we'll be keeping an eye on that. Thank you for the update, John. Tonight on Fox, it's peak flu season. Illinois doctors are already seeing a record number of cases. And marijuana mayhem after Illinois weed sales come close to $11 million, causing one local dispensary to shut its doors. Plus,
the house is, it's all gone. It's all gone.
it's being called a wildfire apocalypse after more than 2,400 acres of land is burned and thousands of people and animals are displaced from their homes. Fox Illinois News at 9 starts right now. Good evening. Health alert, at least 2,900 people in the U.S. have died from influenza so far this flu season, according to new numbers by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. They estimate there have been over 6 million flu illnesses. Fox's Tessa Bentulin tells us how this nationwide spike is well represented across central Illinois. Tessa?
Dee, that's right. Those CDC numbers are certainly not. Back to you, Dee.
Thank you, Tessa. And Springfield Clinics, HS St. John's, and Memorial Medical have visitor restrictions in place because of high flu activity. This is in order to reduce the spread of illnesses. But looking at the statistics nationwide, America's top infectious disease doctor believes this flu season is shaping up to be one of the worst in decades. At least 2,900 people in the U.S. have died from influenza so far this flu season. The CDC estimates there have been at least 6.4 million flu illnesses and 55,000 hospitalizations. Due to these shocking numbers, more than 1,000 kids could be banned from returning to class this week in Seattle, all because their vaccinations aren't up to date. According to Seattle Public Schools, that could affect some 1,400 students. New at 9, international headlines tonight. You're looking at video of a military helicopter flying through the skies in Australia as home for thousands of people and animals are being burned away by the minute. Now we want to show you some heartbreaking video tonight. The kangaroos seen in this video appear to be escaping the bushfires. More than 250,000 people have signed a petition asking the government to redistribute the show's funds towards firefighting efforts. And now more heartbreaking images to show you of the destruction left behind on Kangaroo Island. At least 2 people have died on Kangaroo Island due to these bushfires. And this is that same island you were just looking at. The destruction, it can be seen here. The landscape left empty and charred. After several days of wildfires undo decades of careful conservation work on the island, experts say thousands of koalas and kangaroos have been killed. Amid all of this destruction throughout Australia, the weather has improved, and you can see right here some satellite cameras. They actually captured images of the massive amount of smoke that has been generated by these fires all over your screen. The fires have scorched almost 20 million acres, an area nearly the size of Austria. 25 people have lost their lives, hundreds of people are still stranded, and thousands of buildings are in ruins.
First on Fox.
Tonight on Fox, marijuana mayhem. Find out how those throughout the state of Illinois and local law enforcement responded to the first day of recreational cannabis.
Man, we're gonna smoke, we're gonna eat the edibles, we're gonna get a little bit of everything.
Plus, life or death moments caught on camera. We show you why families and animals are being displaced from their homes. Fox Springfield News at 9 starts right now. Good evening, everyone. I'm John Hansen. Dee Dee Gatton has the night off today. We're going to be bringing you those stories and more throughout the next hour. But this morning at 6 a.m., history was made for the state of Illinois and the United States as customers were able to walk into a dispensary and legally purchase marijuana. Fox's Noel Ford is live in front of Springfield's dispensary with the current line and how law enforcement are dealing with this situation. Noel?
Well, John, this dispensary ended up closing its doors earlier than 10 o'clock.
Thank you, Noel. The Illinois State Police say they haven't seen any issues yet today with marijuana either. But now let's head over to Fox's Champaign, Tiffany Homer, who spoke with employees and customers. And Tiffany, what did they have to say?
I'm standing here at Sunnyside Dispensary, where if you'll take a look behind me, you'll see that there are plenty of people still here ready to get their hands on cannabis. Employees tell me more than 500 people have been served today. According to the dispensary, the lines were so long, in fact, they've been giving out callback cards to people due to not wanting the line to get any longer. According to employees, the wait was ranging from 4 to 5 hours. This is how that callback card works. Whenever you approach the line, employees will give a callback card to customers with a designated time for them to come back to the dispensary. Now the dispensary is getting ready to close up shop here at 10 o'clock to wrap up this historic day. Reporting in Champaign, Tiffany Homer, back to you.
Thank you, Tiffany. And once you leave a marijuana store, dispensary managers say the responsibility lies with you, the customer. Now that applies to things like transporting it out of reach, not consuming it in public, and not driving under the influence. And today, Toy Hutchinson, the senior advisor for the governor for cannabis control, released a statement regarding the inaugural day of adult cannabis use. In a statement, he said, quote, "Today is a historic new day, and as we move forward with growing in this industry, I thank all those who worked hard to make the launch a success and will continue to dedicate themselves to expanding opportunities and righting the wrongs of the past." And speaking of the Pritzker administration, Illinois Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton joined hundreds of people who purchased recreational marijuana today. According to a company that owns the facility, the Lieutenant Governor bought a tin of fruit-flavored pot